Hey YouTube, DJ here. In this video, we are going to go over 10 simple fitness tips that have helped me go from fat to skinny fat to fit and continue to trying to improve on my journey, and hopefully they can help you. Now this is going to be the first of several videos on this particular topic. I was actually at a coffee shop, Panera. Didn't have any paper, so I wrote a bunch of different things on a napkin here, and we're gonna go over it. We'll do 10. We'll do 10 today, and then we'll record some more videos, and we'll keep it up in small sections, probably 10 around each of them. And so these particular tips are things that have personally helped me, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're always gonna be perfect for you. Everyone's situation is a little bit different. And if you find them helpful, or you have questions, or you want to say, hey, that's bunk, just post your questions or post your comments below, and it'd actually be very helpful for me if you did that, because then I can see what people are looking for. Maybe I'm not very clear, or other topics that you might find beneficial. If you could, give it a like and give us a subscribe too. All right, first one might be a hot topic one, is cardio is overrated. And a lot of people like, well, the first thing you're gonna do when they get fit, I'm gonna start running, or I'm not saying that stuff is bad. And I'm not saying that you can't do cardio, but I have found that cardio in general is overrated. Now, if you're doing something to try to improve your heart and that's different, right? But if you're looking just simply to start losing some weight and getting fit, here's where number 2 comes in. Focus on the number of steps you get per day. And so the minimum number is try to get at least 8,000. Me now, that's what I was doing at first, but now I'm minimum 10,000. Am I there every day? Almost every day. Some days I'm not. Sometimes at the end of the day, I'm looking at my step tracker and I'll say, oh my goodness, I got a bunch of steps I gotta do now, walk around my house until I get to my steps. If you combine the, say, 8,000, 10,000 steps per day, and you're at a caloric deficit, you will lose weight, and then you're not going to have the additional stress on your joints like you might when you're doing with running, or if you don't want to go to the gym. Just get up throughout the day, get some steps in. It goes a very long way. Next is progressive overload. So when it comes to getting fit, and specifically we're talking about lifting weights, a lot of times when people go into the gym, they'll do 5 sets of 10 or whatever, do their weights, check it off, and then go to the next one and the next day, and they're basically doing the same thing every single day, every single week. But if you want to grow your muscles, you need to progressively overload. And so what that might mean is that one week you do sets of 10 and you're pushing yourself, and then the next week you go to sets of 11. Or you might continue the sets of 10, but then you might increase it 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds. So you're trying to always progressively overload, taxing your muscles. That's going to help your growth. Track progress. This is the 4th tip. It's really important if you're going to progressively overload. How do you know what you're doing unless you're tracking your progress? Now, there's apps you can use. Some people use a journal. It doesn't really matter, but you want to track is, okay, today I did bench press and I did 4 sets. First set was 10, second set was 9, 8, 7, so on and so forth, and I did it at 100 pounds. Next week, what you want to try to do is track that, is then go back to the progressive overload and then try to increase each set by 1 rep and or increase the weight a little bit. So you want to track, you want to progressive overload, but how do you do that is by tracking, because if you're not tracking, you're not knowing where you're going. Same thing when it comes to eating and dieting. Track the calories you're eating, track your macros, your fat, your carbohydrates, and your protein. That is invaluable to let you know where you're at and then where you're going. Record your sets. So tip number 5 is record your sets. So what do I mean record your sets? This is different from tracking, where you're taking the number of sets and the type of exercise and the weight. Recording means actually getting a video camera and recording yourself doing the exercise. I know it's a little weird at first. It was weird for me. It still is a little bit weird for me. Even though I make these videos, it is still a little weird for me, but you got to do it. Why? Is because what we think that we're doing, we're not always doing it. For instance, you think you're doing some bicep curls, and you think you're being pretty strict with your posture, but then you record the video, and then you watch, and you're getting a lot of body English in it. You don't even realize that you're doing that. And that will help you the next time you do that exercise, is to improve on the form. Or let's say you're doing squats, and you're going down, you think you're going far enough down, but then you watch the video, and you realize, ugh, I got a little bit more to go to get to parallel or just below parallel. And recording recording my sets has been very helpful for me to improve my form. And when your form's improved, you're going to be able to handle more weight, which is good, which is going to help, grow your muscle, and you're getting the right stimulus on your muscles. Because also, if your form is off, and let's say you're trying to do a tricep curl, or not tricep curl, a tricep extension, and then you look at your form and you see that your form is not getting so much activation on your tricep, but it's now more like a shoulder exercise or a chest exercise. And so by having your form dialed in, by watching your sets and learning, it's going to help you focus in on the muscle groups that you're trying to focus on. All right, next is give more attention to underdeveloped muscle groups or muscles that you have. And so some people is that they have all around work that they need, and that's fine. But some people are looking to also develop a particular area more than another area. It might be biceps, triceps, chest, whatever. But let's say it is chest, and you have your chest is not so great, your shoulders looking better, but you want to grow your chest. Well, what you need to do is you need to give more attention to that muscle group. So if you were doing chest twice a week, well, now you need to do it 3 times a week, so long as you can recover in time to do that additional day. Maybe you need to add some additional sets or reps. But if you want an area to grow, you need to put extra attention and time and effort towards that muscle group. I know it sounds pretty logical, but for me, that was something that, hey, I'm just going to do my plan as it is, and I just go through it, and hopefully everything grows. And really, when we try to be all things to all body parts, no particular body part gets any really desired growth that you want. For me now, I'm not big or massive or anything, but you should have seen where I was at before when it comes to the muscles not until I started putting intentional effort and growing specific body parts did those body parts actually have visible growth. Okay, next one is lifting for strength versus lifting for size. And this is another thing that I didn't really realize, and now it makes a lot of sense. You've heard of power lifters and bodybuilders. Power lifters are lifting for strength. Bodybuilders are lifting for size or the aesthetics. And when it comes to that, you're going to have different types of rep ranges that you're looking for. If you're looking for that brute strength, you're not so concerned about if your muscles look big. You just want to be able to lift a lot of weight. And you generally, when you're trying to do lifting for strength, you're going to use very heavy weight for fewer reps. Now, if you're doing bodybuilding, you're going to have lower weight than what somebody that's doing powerlifting, but you're going to have higher reps, 8, 12, 15, 20, 20 plus, all up to 30, depending on what you're doing and how you control your lifting movements. And for me, that's helpful is because I am trying to be more, I would say, on the bodybuilding side. I'm not getting massive, but I'm not so concerned about, hey, can I squat and bench a ton of weight? And why that's important is because when I used to do squats a long time ago, I kind of squeaked there, or bench, I was doing a lot lower repetitions. And that was my first inclination to do that until I realized and learned that no. If you want the muscles to grow in size, you need to have a higher repetition. So know whether you're going for strength or you're going for the aesthetics, the muscle size. Now, there are some people that do power building, really won't get into all of that, but to keep things simple is if you're going for strength, lower repetitions. If you're going for size, higher repetitions. What number is that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, a couple of them. Now we're number 8. Nutrition and rest are necessary for growth. So if you want to grow your muscles, really healthy in general, nutrition and rest is important. But if you want to grow your muscles, they need time to recover. And when do they recover and how do they recover? By giving it rest, sleeping well. It might be an occasional off day. I have a rest day on Sundays. I'm recording this video on a Sunday. But you always have to have your nutrition on point too. Now, some days you might be off, and that's totally fine. Then just get right back on. But if you want to recover quickly, get your sleep, 7, 8, 9 hours. What you can get. I don't recommend oversleeping. Too much sleep, I think, is a bad thing. But also you have to have your nutrition, because if you're working hard and you're getting your sleep in, but your nutrition is crap, you are not doing yourself justice. You're not getting the gains that you could, and you're not seeing the results that you could. All right, number 9, it takes time. One of the things that frustrated me at first about this journey, losing weight and starting to get cut a little bit, is that it takes time. It's a long process. You don't see results immediately, and that can be frustrating. But I've learned to enjoy that is because that is so applicable to really any area of life. Your finances, you want to get out of the hole, it takes time. You want to grow in your career and improve, it takes time. Having that delayed gratification is a great thing, a great asset for us all to have. And that's one of the awesome things about lifting weights and losing weight. It does take the time. So you got to enjoy that process, knowing that it takes time. All right, eccentric versus concentric. And so this is going to be our last one. I think this is number 10 here. And so when it comes to a lift, there are really a few different components of the lift, but we're just going to focus on two. There's the eccentric and the concentric. The concentric is what most people think about when they lift. So if you're doing a bicep curl, it's the coming up there. Or if you're doing a bench press, it's the pushing up. If you're on a squat, it's when you're down and you push yourself up. That's the concentric, and that's what most people focus on. Should be really explosive on the concentric. But when it comes to the eccentric, people really let that go oftentimes. So when they're doing the curls, they go, "Rah!" And when they drop, they just do equally as fast. Or the bench, then they push up and then they drop it fast. Or when they squat, they drop really fast down. The problem with that is that the majority of the growth, the best part of the growth, actually comes from the eccentric movement. And that shocked me. It really, seriously, I had no idea that part of the movement was the most important part. So when you're doing a curl, you go up and then control it on the way down. You do a bench, you push up, control it on the way down. You're doing a squat, control it on the way down. You're doing a lat pull down. Your concentric is the pull down. Your eccentric is how you lift it up. A tricep. The concentric going down, eccentric on the way up. So focus on that eccentric. That's going to get more stimulus to the muscle. That is better for hypertrophy. Sorry, a little burp there. That's better for hypertrophy, which is muscle growth. And so that's it. So that's today's first 10 tips. Next week, we're going to do another video. I have a bunch of them here on this napkin on the other side here too. So we'll have several of these videos, but let me know what you think. Was this helpful? Did you learn some things? All things that you knew? What are some of the aha things that you have when it comes to fitness that really changed your mind and how you thought of approaching fitness, or things that helped you get through plateaus that you had or really helped you see results? All right, so that's it for now. Again, if you could give me a like on this video, subscribe, leave a comment, ask any questions. Till the next one, see you later.